About a year ago, I made a budget cooking video where I challenged myself to come up with some family meals, basically breakfast, lunch, and dinner for my family of 5 on a $20 budget. And when I plugged all of those items that I purchased for that video I made a year ago in 2023, the total today comes out to $23.77. Well, y'all really liked that video because it has like 130,000 views or something. So I thought that we would do something similar today. It's been a year, so let's see how far a $20 budget goes in December of 2024. Okay, I just arrived at Walmart. We are gonna head in and see what we can do on this super tight $20-ish budget. The first thing I'm doing is heading over to the meat section. A lot of people think it's impossible to afford meat and produce like fruits and vegetables on a really tight budget. So I always try to include those in my budget meal plans. I'm gonna pick up 1.5 pounds of chicken thighs. Mine are gonna cost me a little over $6. You might be able to get more with a different brand or if you find a good sale. Next, I'm heading over to the produce and I'm picking up celery and carrots. For some reason, the celery is a lot cheaper than it has been in recent months, maybe because it's around the holidays. Now I'm rolling my cart all the way to the back of the store where they keep the milk. I'm gonna pick up the highest fat content I can, which is whole milk, for $2.17 for a half gallon. And on my way over to the butter, I passed the discount bakery rack and found this loaf of French bread for 69 cents, which is going to be a great way to bulk up some of our meals with a little bit of toast. You might already have butter, and I did too, but since I am using so much of it in this meal plan, I'm going to use it in every recipe, I wanted to pick some up. And Walmart has been carrying a 2-stick pack for $2.42 as opposed to having to buy the whole pound for a little over $4, but they were out the day I was there. So some other options, this is a plant-based butter, which to me is just like margarine. This is a whipped butter, but I ended up going with this little 2-stick pack of this brand. I have not picked this up or heard of it, but it worked out pretty well, so I'm pretty pleased. And I know it's $3.12, but it's going to be worth it. It's going to add a lot of flavor. I'm picking up 1 pound of rice, still 92 cents at my Walmart. Plus, I'm picking up one of these little packages of pasta. The brand is La Moderna, and I find it over in the section where a lot of the Hispanic food brands are. They're little 7-ounce packages of pasta for 50 cents, so they come in really handy for these tight budget challenges. And while I'm here, I wanted to show you some options for chicken broth bouillon because I'm going to be using some of that. It's a staple for me. You might already have that, but there are some really great affordable options over here in this section or over in the soup section. You have these little Knorr cubes as well, but these are a little bit more expensive than the ones I found in the other section. So just word to the wise if you need to pick that up. All right, while I'm in the soup section, I need a can of condensed French onion soup in the Great Value brand. It's only 92 cents. And gonna pick up some frozen veggies. I'm just gonna grab the green beans. I use these all the time as a way to add a little extra veggies into my budget meal plans, but there are lots of other options in that section of the freezer. You could pick up some mixed veggies or some cauliflower. The broccoli florets are a little bit more, but lots of options there. And also, I'm gonna grab a few apples. This is the least expensive kind in my store right now, $1.24 a pound for Gala apples. I'm guessing at what the price is gonna be, around $1.60 for about 1.33 pounds of Gala apples. And now I'm just looking around because I still have about $1 left in my budget and I'm thinking about what I want to add to this. Sometimes I would pick up like a little package of muffins like the ones that you see here, especially since I bought milk. There are lots of options for these just add milk muffins, and these would add, you know, a little bit of sweetness, a little bit of a treat to one of the meals. But instead I decided I'd go ahead and just pick up a can of chickpeas. I'm gonna add these to a soup I'm gonna make to just bulk it up a little bit, give it some extra fiber and a little extra protein. Okay, I'm leaving Walmart with my items and I'm going to show you what we're doing with them. But First, I want to thank today's sponsor, Upside. What I love about Upside is that it's a cashback app for stuff that we need, use, and purchase on a regular basis already. I mean, you know I'm going to be putting gasoline in the mom van, so I might as well be getting cash back on that purchase, right? And yes, it is actual cash back. It's not a confusing rewards or point system. You can trade your cash back in for gift cards through the Upside app, or you can just have it transferred directly to your bank account. And they have over 100,000 gas stations, grocery stores, and restaurants in the Upside app right now. So you might as well check it out because you might already be frequenting some of these places. Why not get some cash back for the purchases you're already making? Plus, the app is super easy to use. When I'm ready, I just open up the app. It will show me the offers that are available in my area. I choose one of those and go to the place and make a purchase and then follow the directions for getting the cash back. And because I have a credit card linked in here, I usually don't even have to submit any receipts. It will just automatically put the cash into my Upside app, usually within a few days. Top Upside earners are making as much as $300 a month. To find out how much you could make, just click the link in the description box below to download the Upside app and use my code Mindy to get an extra 25 cents back per gallon on your first tank of gas. Or you can scan the QR code right here to claim the offer. Again, that's an extra 25 cents back per gallon on your first tank of gas when you use my code Mindy after you download the Upside app, link in the description, or the QR code right here. And thank you again to Upside for sponsoring today's video. I must have been pretty close in my Apple estimate because my total before tax came out to $19.81. I will show you everything that I purchased right here. You saw me pick it up one item at a time, but just in case, here it is. And I'll also pop a list up on the screen for you. I will also pop up on the screen here a picture of some of the basic items I'm using from around my kitchen to season and cook my food. Sometimes these recipes will still work even if you don't have some of the things that I have. And if you are looking for a way to stock your kitchen on a budget, I actually made a video about this last spring. I made a list of items that I use frequently for cooking, basic seasonings, spices, condiments, oils, things like that. And I grouped them into small groups that you could purchase for about $10 or so at a time. So over the course of a few weeks or a few months, you could build those things up in your kitchen if you don't already have them. I will leave that video linked in the description box below because I think I also did a printable for that video that you can go and print out to kind of help you if you are looking for a way to stock your kitchen. If you're cooking for a family, you probably already have pretty much everything that I'm using. I am getting some chicken alphabet soup going in the slow cooker. So I have just 2 of my little chicken thigh fillets here in the crock pot already. And I'm going to add to that 2 stalks of celery chopped and then 2 of the largest carrots I have ever seen peeled and chopped. Probably more like 3 medium carrots if they're just regular size, 2 tablespoons of butter, and I'm also gonna add my can of chickpeas. I'm not even gonna drain them, just gonna pour them in with the juice and all. And to season this, I'm gonna use some Italian seasoning. Usually this is a mixture of like basil and oregano and thyme. You could use any of those seasonings. Since I didn't buy an onion, I don't have any on hand, I'm going to use just a little bit of onion powder, probably about half a teaspoon, and about half a teaspoon of garlic powder. Salt and pepper to taste. I'm going to go pretty easy on the salt because I'm going to be using a broth base. I'm using 3 teaspoons of my chicken broth base. If you were buying those Knorr cubes, you'd probably just need one of those large Knorr cubes, or even if you don't have broth base or chicken bouillon, you could just add a little extra salt and pepper. 3 cups of water, and then I'm going to get this going on low for 5 to 6 hours or high for 3 to 4 until the chicken is done and ready to shred up. And then we're going to come back and add some more stuff to it. Now that my chicken is done and shredded up, I am putting that back into the slow cooker along with my little 7-ounce bag of alphabet pastas. Stir that in. And we like our soups creamy. So I have here 2 cups of whole milk with 2 tablespoons of cornstarch stirred in as well. I've made a little like milk cornstarch slurry type situation. And that is going into the slow cooker now. I'm gonna let that cook on high until the pasta is done. It will probably take about 20 minutes or so because my milk was cold when I put it in. It might not even take that long if I let my milk heat up just a little bit, like at room temperature. Okay, I have to say, I thought this would be tasty, but it is even better than I thought it would be. Hopefully you can see here the little pastas. It's kind of hard to see them on the camera, but they're in here. They're all cooked up nicely. I'm so glad I decided to add the milk to this because I just think it makes it heartier, makes it a little bit richer. Very, very tasty. I have it here with just some of my bread that I bought, my discount bread, just toasted that up with butter. And so this is gonna be a really filling lunch, I think. I'm really glad I tried this. Turned out fantastic. I have a big pan here on the stove and I melted half a stick, that's 4 tablespoons of butter. And into this pan, I'm adding 2 carrots and 2 stalks of celery chopped. I wanna let those saute on their own for about a minute. While those are softening up, I'm gonna season this with about a teaspoon of onion powder and a teaspoon of garlic powder. Stir, 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 cook, cook, cook. Stove isn't quite hot enough. I'm gonna turn it up just a little bit. I've got this over medium heat. This is the rest of my chicken thighs. I actually just trimmed them up a little bit and I cut them into little pieces. So my celery and carrots have been cooking on their own for about 2 minutes, 2 or 3 minutes. I'm gonna go ahead and add these chicken pieces in and stir them up and let them cook with the celery and carrots for another 2 to 3 minutes or so. Okay, this is the other half of that stick of butter. I started with half a stick. This is the other half, so it's going in now. And 1.5 cups of rice. And I'm just gonna stir that around until the butter is melted, and it also lets the rice get a little bit of a saute as well. Now, butter is all melted. Everything is sauteed and brown. The chicken is almost done cooking, but not quite. I'm gonna add my French onion soup plus 1 can of water, which would be about 1.25 cups. 1 teaspoon of bouillon. I am using beef bouillon this time. Actually, I'm gonna do 2 teaspoons. I'm using beef bouillon, but chicken would be fine. Stir that all together. I wanna bring this up to a simmer, then cover it and reduce the heat to low. Let it simmer for 10 minutes. Then turn the heat off completely, but let it sit an additional 10 minutes so everything finishes cooking. To finish up the chicken and rice meal, I just pop those green beans into the microwave. Green beans, I know I use them all the time, but they're such an inexpensive vegetable. Little butter and salt and pepper, and we're in business. The chicken and rice cooked up really well using the method that I normally use with rice. The chicken is cooked through, and it's really tasty. It's really good. It's definitely different from like a regular chicken and rice because a lot of them have cream soups or like cheese in them. This one doesn't have that. So if you're looking for something like that, this might be your jam. Really good. Really, really good. I normally try to work some kind of sweet treat into these budget meal videos, but this would work as a breakfast or a treat. I'm gonna go ahead and get it going tonight so I can see if it works. We're gonna make some rice pudding. And you absolutely could make this on the stove. I thought about it, but I really wanna try it in the crock pot. I have a second crock pot. I wanna try it out because I feel like this kind of recipe with rice in the slow cooker would work really well because you actually want the rice to break down and get really mushy and soft and creamy. Into my slow cooker, I'm putting 1 cup of rice, 3/4 cup of sugar, a teaspoon or 2 of cinnamon, depending on how much you like cinnamon, a pinch of salt. I'm gonna stir that around just to kind of get everything mixed in. 2 tablespoons of butter, and then 4 cups of milk. I'm gonna pop the lid on this and get it going on high, and I'm gonna check on it about every 30 to 45 minutes and maybe even lift the lid and give it a little stir. I wanna see how it progresses. I'm very glad that I still had milk left from the half gallon that I purchased because I ended up adding about 1 more cup to the crock pot the last hour of the cook cycle. I cooked mine on high for really close to 3 hours, but I wanted them to be pretty mushy. You know, I guess some people might like rice pudding with a little bit more texture, but I thought it would be best if it's just really soft. And I purchased the apples thinking I would cook them down with a little brown sugar and cinnamon, you know, like an apple compote or like cinnamon apples. But I ended up just chopping them up and putting them on top of the rice pudding here with a little bit of extra cinnamon, so it'll add a little bit of crunch as well. And it's pretty tasty. I mean, it's definitely like an oatmeal for me, a bit of the same texture. The sweetness from, you know, the sugar that you put in it and the fact that it's cooked in the milk, I don't know, it's just really tasty. I wasn't sure if I was gonna like it, but I have tried it and I gotta say, it's really good. I might be a rice pudding fan now. Seriously, not bad. Not bad at all. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you again to Upside for sponsoring today's video. For more videos like this, cooking on a budget, I have a whole playlist of the videos I made on this topic over the years. It's linked in the description box below. You can check out one of those or check out one of these, and I'll see you there.